Hello. Sorry, it's all pretty last minute to everything, as always. Um, Hello, happy Hump Day. Welcome to Wednesday, and welcome to the Forge of Mars, where he's Marsing it up as always in the forge. And just getting that out of the way, moving that more. Oh my goodness, it is gone completely cray cray. Hi. It's a friend of ours, a beloved Titan, Last Shadow. So yes, so hanging out time, just chilling, and other things as always. Got to do the old socials as always, so just bear with me because you know I do that sort of stuff where I just faff around for God knows how long, just doing the stuff that needs to be done. And where are we? There we are. There's that. Right. I think that'll do for now. And Bosch. Toronto Bosch. Yeah. Yeah, so this weekend it's Salute. Salute number 52, apparently. So I'll be down there with the Titans Owners Club, and we'll be um, doing a Titan walk as per normal. Also, I'll be entering into the Salute painting competition as I always do, and I'm going to be entering Last Shadow. So, like I did last year, where I entered my Vindicta Templi, the War Master of my Legio Ignatum, into the open day. The Games Workshop Legends of Paint at the Warhammer World anniversary. I entered it into Salute 51, so I thought I'd do the same this year. So this is going into Salute 52. So I was looking at the model, and just basically just making sure of a few extra pieces. Maybe put another dead Blood Angel somewhere, just to jazz up the base a little bit, really. But also down yonder is 2 Warhounds of the big variety, because this is basically all part of the prep for Titan Walk. So I always like to have a little inspection, just make sure of things. So as I said, this is just a pretty straightforward, just little hangout as per normal, really, but just attending to all things Titany as you do. I really need to put these dudes. Just 2 sets. That I'm going to need. So this is me tidying up as well. So because I'm going to need space, to say the least. So I need to get these guys off the workbench. Otherwise, there'll be problems. I'll say not going to be problems. There's never problems. But I'm just waffling a little bit. I'm probably hallucinating as well, because I've just had a massive chili. And yeah, the excitement, the prep work that goes into Titan Walks, it does take time, and time is the most valuable commodity when it comes to hobby Titans in general. So that's them out of the way. So there's a Titan for you, or the legs of a Titan. This could be placed over there. So it's just checking on everything. So as you can see, this is Tacit Venatrix, or the legs of Tacit Venatrix. So she's been one of my most capable Titans. Currently joint top in the kill count. She was the leader for a good long while as well. So she, let's put you she actually was my leading Titan killer for a couple of years, actually, from the first Titan walk I participated in 2019. That weekend, I believe she managed to get 12 or 13 kills over 2 days. So it totally changed my opinion on warhounds. It's nice having warhounds, but at that first walk, I was at. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I had only 4 engines. So I had Iracundus, of course, 2 Warhounds, Tacit Venatrix, and Donna Magna, and Vindicta Templi. The War Master was Vindicta Manibus. Sorry, I apologise. So this beauty has been with me as my second oldest Titan. So I've had her for probably around 10-12 years. Yeah, and the bridge section with the Moderati and its Princeps. I changed the head on, so this has actually got a woman Princeps piloting. You've got your little servitors in the back. I've done what they normally do with like tanks, is where they paint the interior of tanks white or very light colours because of the limited light that you're going to have in there. So any light is reflected, so you can actually see. So I went with that on the interiors, which was a later edition because it was basically just lead belcher. But obviously still got the mezzanine floors, the grating chains. But these little checkovers is to actually make sure the magnets are all firmly in place and not shifted. Obviously we'll always take super glue with us anyway, just so we can do that. Little touches up here and there can be administered as well. Full screen. I never bothered magnetising that for some reason. Don't know why, but never bothered. And same with the roof. Just making sure the magnet's underneath as well. Because I have on occasion had magnets come off, so that can be a little bit tricky when you've got a Warhound Titan and its magnets aren't there, because they can be a little bit top heavy. Depends on your positioning of the actual Titan, but yeah, it's not too bad. So making sure give it a little check over, make sure there's no loose parts. Because you don't want loose parts. So just a little tweak, little twist, just to check that everything. Obviously, we know that there's two loose parts, and obviously the magnetized weapon arm. We've got these little baggies, bubble wrap bags for putting the torsos in to keep them nice and safe in transport. So this is Don Magnum. Right, so you can see there the magnet has failed because that has come out. So that now allows me to attend to it. If I can get the bloody thing off. If you can manage to get it off. Because now I'm just worried if the if it's actually stuck in. I always like to mark which end is the connection end. That's a bit annoying. What is- what am I looking for? Nope. 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 It's like retributed gold. I should have plenty of them. But can I see any? Oh. Hey, hello Ben. How the devil are you? Have you seen my retributed gold? Because I can't. Might be over here. Haha! Is there any in it? That's the question. Oh. Well, there is some in it, but it's not particularly on the dry side. Well, it is particularly on the dry side. Which is no problem, really. these do take, knocks in transit, and even on the battlefield, sometimes these things do get knocked over. So you have to be as careful as you can be walking around a large floor hammer map. Um, but sometimes it's, you can't be that too careful. Well, you have to be, but it's just hard. I'm not as nimble as I used to be. Oh, did you now? Have a look. Ah, there you are. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. That's the thing. Is like with knights, I always remember even in the earlier days of knights being around, the amount of people going, "Oh, I want a Imperial Knight for my." I think it was Iron Hands, my Iron Hands chapter, and you're like what? So like that's the whole thing. It's like the Marines have their stuff. There's other factions out there, and they have their stuff. Yeah, they could be allied to them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they belong to the chapter. They have their own autonomy. They're their own thing. But obviously, over time, they have changed the background because originally they first brought Knights out. You basically had a triumvirate where you had Mars and the Mechanicus, you had Holy Terror and the Emperor and all that, but you also had the Knight Houses were a separate thing. They're their own thing, and they could choose to serve Mechanicus or Imperial households. So that's why there's two come about. No, Lee. It's 40k. It's only for Space Marines. But that's why I sort of stopped caring so much about the lore, because they can change it however they damn well please, and 9 times out of 10 you're not going to appreciate what they do, so you're best off not caring and just getting on with it. Probably why I've just stuck to doing Titans and Knights, really. It's just an easier life in general. It's a more peaceful life. Oh, hello. Mostly to distract myself from this NMM scabbard. Yeah, you started it, you did it, it's your own fault. James Workshop insists. Ooh, Big Hound, indeed. We had the other one out. This is Donna Magna, which Low Gothic means it grants greatness, which was twofold. Basically, when I was building this warhound, sorry. My friend Grant unfortunately died, and in sort of, you know, a tribute to him, I named it Grant's Greatness, because it was there was a film called Young Guns, and it's a sort of a spin on what Emilio Estevez as Billy the Kid did in, I think it was Young Guns 2. He gets hold of this shotgun where this guy had made a point, he puts like coins into the shotgun because it does more damage and all that sort of stuff. And when it all kicks off, Billy the Kid's got hold of this thing, and he used to say, "I'll make you famous," and shoot people. But he also said with the shotgun, and he shot the bloke who owned the shotgun with this, like, you know, dollars worth of dimes or whatever. And he said that was like the best $1.50 I've ever spent. But it was tied into that and Grant. So Grant's greatness, or granting greatness, or Grant's greatness. So that's what Donna Magna means, loosely. So it's sort of like, I'll make you famous, I'll grant you greatness. So, and it just ticked boxes. Donna Magna, unlike its sister Tacit Venatrix, hasn't pulled in as many kills. If I just call up the reference, yeah, so as I was saying, with Tacit Venatrix, which is Silent Huntress, and Donna Magna, Grant's Greatness, Tacit Venatrix for the longest while, so in the 6 years I've been doing Titan Walks, it's only really been in the last, I'd say, 2 years that Vindicta Templi, my warlord, has caught up. So Tacit Venatrix has got 17 kills and has died twice. And that's only been in the last 2 years. So she was like, you know, I think she literally was probably on like 16-0. Because I think she's only killed one thing since that bully of that Lauren attacked her at the 2023 Titan Walk I was at. But its kill rate, it's killed a warlord, it's killed a warbringer, it's killed 7 reavers, 7 warhounds, and a night banner. Now you only get a kill for a night banner if they're all dead, not just one knight, a banner. So Tacit Venatrix, my previous one, they look the same, so there's no point in getting her out apart from the weapon loadout. Tacit Venatrix was by far my deadliest Titan. Donna Magna, now it's mostly because I operate them as a pair, as you should with warhounds. So Donna Magna will normally soften up the targets and strip the shields with its Vulcan Mega Bolters and Turbo Laser. Because the Turbo Laser you can utilize to do shield bane, in which that you basically make it harder for whoever is controlling the target Titan to make a save, because you basically you increase the reactor rolling the dice, and then you basically see if they strip if you strip the shields. So this is for shield stripping. As soon as the shields are down, hopefully you've maybe you get the shields down with the Vulcan. If you do, woo, then you've got a shot with a high strength weapon. Although it's a strength 8, it's still higher than strength 4 on the Vulcans. But if you've had to use both weapons to strip the shields, then because you're in a squadron, your second activation, because if you're squadroning Warhounds, they all activate simultaneously. So, well, one after the other, but in the same turn. So that's one of the things about squadroning. You lose an activation, but whoever's in that squadron, they all fire. And if they fire at the same target as well, they get a bonus to the armor roll, because it's coordinated fire, basically. So Donna Magna strips the shields. Tacit will then, as soon as the shields are dropped and it's turn to fire, will fire a maximal fire plasma blast gun at the target, hopefully hitting either the body or special on the location dice, because those two areas are easier to damage. Although there's many more dots, they're easier to damage compared to the head and the legs, sort of thing. Plus, you can't target with plasma blast guns because it's a template weapon. So hopefully you get a solid hit to the body, or direct hit, so you get then 2 hits, and then you roll your location dice, and hopefully it's the body or special, because special counts as body on smaller titans, because it's not only the War Masters that have special equipment, and that's what special represents. So you got a strength 10 / strength 11 hits, so possibly 4 strength 11 hits going in to the torso, sort of thing. So on most titans, like if you're hitting a Warhound in a torso, I will let you know, because I'm just quickly referencing it because I can't remember. No, wrong thing. Titan tracker, that'll do. So yeah, so on the body, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pips of structure, and then 3 pips of criticals. So if all 4 plasma blast gun hits hit the body on a Warhound, probably be easier if I actually get. I can actually see, because unfortunately with Titan Tracker it doesn't actually tell you what. Oh yes, it does. So yeah, so on a 14 plus, it's criticals. So if you roll your 4 dice, which I will get dice out because I want to get dice out now. So your 4 damage dice. Right, so we have got a 3, a 5, oh sorry, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So with a maximal fire plasma blast gun, so maximal fire basically gives you +2 to the damage. So standardly 8, +2 for the maximal fire, 10. Coordinated fire adds +1, so that's 11 base. So you've got 3 + 11, 14, 15, 16, 17. So on the damage to the body, so that's basically 4 crits. So you go the damage first, so you go 1, 2, crit. Then 1, 2, crit. 1, 2, crit. And then that last crit kills it. 3 crits put a Warhound in the body to its last spot. So all you had to do was 1 more damage. So even if you just rolled a 2, if you rolled a 1, it doesn't. It's a glance. Doesn't matter. If I rolled a 2 and then 3 crits, that's a dead Titan. 3 crits, as I said, puts it right into the last bit, and the last crit is what kills it. So that's how very strong, powerful weapons like plasma blast guns can really ruin your day. Because as soon as the shields are down, whoever's shooting at you is and then shooting you with plasma, they're going maximal fire, and that is going to hurt because that Warhound is no longer standing there. Agree, 40k is a setting. Do your own thing. Yes. My latest one is Lupus Die for my Loris Interfector. Cool. And Interfector Murder Lords. Sorry for a lot of friends. It's been a few years, but you know, he was a really sweet, genuine, nice guy. So far too young. Very sort of like, you always feel like, well, he was too young, to be fair. Do Warhounds get flanking bonuses in big walks or just Titanicus? Well, we use Titanicus rules, so we might. I'm not sure. I think we're doing full rules at this one, because normally we have like a softened set of rules where we don't include falling, for example, and we don't normally include Legio bonuses or what do you call them? Maniple bonuses. So, and to be honest, I haven't checked. I will need to ask that question as to what the fuck are we doing. I'm assuming, like last time, it was normal rules. So, yeah, so you can obviously use stratagems like outflank and stuff, and we do allow stratagems. So, for however points you are taking, then you have the appropriate amount of stratagems. Now, if you're underpointed, then you do get like the bonus stratagems as well. So sometimes stratagems can be handy, but yeah, it's something that you want to find balance. Like, I keep things simple with my Titans. I've generally utilized only Axiom Maniples, so that's a Warlord, 2 Reavers, 2 Warhounds. Conveniently, I have a Warlord, 2 Reavers, 2 Warhounds, so I can field that. But I can also, if I so wished, because I have a large selection of knights, I could do a Dominus, which is basically an Axiom setup for Titans, but then you would take additional Cerastus or Questoris knights as additionals, and they're basically like ablative armor. So yeah, you got to pay for them, but in more ways than one. But you can do that with that amount of Titans. But there's guys who turn up and they've got more Titans than I have and more bigger Titans, so they could theoretically go with, you know, there has been people who could do like Exterminus, which is like 3 Warlords, a Warbringer, and was it 2 Warbringers? Well, it could have been 4 Warlords. Yeah, so they're nasty, Exterminus, because they get special rules where they can add stuff to their weapons to make them stronger. Yes. Um, on the topic of my new Jackal class Warhound, Lupus Dei, it names translates to Wolf of God. Okay. Um, obviously, just remember that the Imperium is secular, um, and deities are frowned upon. um, but no, Lupus Dei is cool. Um, Flatlook, Lords of Valor, not our insane counterparts. Stay your tongue around the traitors we dare not speak of. Well, fair enough. They were murder lords before the heresy. You went for a rebranding. That's fine. But you can't really call yourself Interfector because that's what the translation is to murder lords. The ecclesiarchy disagrees. Well, as I said, we do our battles in the heresy, so it's pre-ecclesiarchy. So take your religious fervour out of here. You sisters of battle, you. They're originally Lords of Valor before the heresy. Were they? I was not aware of that. I didn't realise there were Titan legions that changed their names. But I've always gone with Interfector because the Interfector is Murder Lords. But that's the thing. So just call them Lords of Valor because they weren't traitor. And to be fair, the Titans didn't want to go traitor. That's why they went mad, because they were forced to go traitor against their will. It was the Princeps and the Moderati that turned traitor, not the Indians. So that's why they're all cray-cray in the heresy, or in the late heresy. It's because they didn't want to do it and they were forced to do it and they just went for Ghazi. Yeah, so if that was, as I said, if they were that, because I say with the, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so doing that, because look, you can't go. Look, one point is that Interfector is Latin, which means murderer. So if they were called the other thing, the Lords of Valor, then they're Lords of Valor. You just say, I'm using Interfector rules. Well, you can't really use Interfector rules, can you? but yeah, exactly. You know, you do what you want to do with the background. So yeah, the subverted things. Because there was loyalist. This is a thing. It's like they're saying that there was loyalist Mortis. Now, to me, Mortis should be the epitome of all in. You know, like they were all traitor, much like Ignatum should be all loyalist. Um, because it makes no sense that Legio Ignatum, who were, you know, held above others by the Emperor as the Emperor's like dudes, you know, and given all those important missions and or to hold and defend certain areas and all that sort of stuff. And in the old Titan Legions thing, a lot of their engines got blessed by the Emperor himself. So that sort of shit is like, yeah, okay, we are Ignatum, we are the Emperor's hand sort of thing. But the same way that Mortis was Kelbor Howell's personal sort of thing, personal sort of Titan Legio. That's why they got all the good shit. So they got all the new improved Titans. They got all the big Titans because they were the favoured of Kelbor Howell and also the favoured of Horus afterwards. So everyone else is up for grabs because that was the whole thing with the Triad Ferrus Morgalis, is that you had one holy loyal Legio in Ignatum, one holy traitor Legio in Murderlords, and one a little bit this, a little bit that with the Tempestus sort of thing. So it sort of split. Although originally most of the loyalist part of Tempestus died on Mars, they obviously thought we'll have some nice loyalist ones out in the wilds because they couldn't do that. You can just kill off a Legio. But yeah, you know, going with the Lords of Valor is a cool name. So you just them. Do you use like the thingy rules for them, like to create your own, or do you go? I'm going to use this Legio's rules as their rules. Is that what you're doing with yours? Because I know, like, obviously with the like custom creator Legio stuff, you can make up some. Like, I've got a Black Shield Legio, Legio Atonicus, Atonicus, the Thunderwalkers. But I used obviously the custom create your own Legio shenanigans to make them how I wanted them to be, sort of thing. Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like they weren't Legio Interfector, the Lords of Valor. That's what I'm getting at, because Interfector is a direct translation into murderer, killing sort of thing. So it's probably been the rebrand to Interfector and being traitors. Because I said I only went by what I was told by dudes, dudes that wrote the stuff. That was the reason that they went mad, was because of the rebranding. That they were being forced against their will to be traitors. Using Novigrad rules when playing them on the table. A blend of both, to be exact. So when you say a blend of both, what you're using like parts of Interfector and parts of Novigard. Is that what you mean? Well, get out of the way. Oh, sorry. That's dipping everything there. Damn it. That's somewhat annoying. sworn there was about here somewhere. Ah. Yep. So you can see I've got a few dice. I'm missing the single ammo. I am not missing. Ha ha ha! Maybe that. Let's get I seriously thought that I'd lost one of my dice. These dice are awesome. So they are a lot bigger than normal sort of Chessex type dice. Bought them off Amazon a few years ago. They've been very, very good to me. Yeah, I don't understand why with the AT dice they brought out with like the longer tube like these. So these are actually different. More golden colour. So this one's unopened. Damaged. But yeah, so I didn't like the other dice. I don't know where that one comes from. I can stay here. I've got these dice, which are Titans Owners Club dice. So one can never have enough dice. Ah. I've been looking for some TOC merch myself. Hello, Bertie. They are very shiny dice. So obviously in my collecting of dice, you get 12 of these. These are years old. I still don't know if we actually still do them. But normally, if you're participating in a Titan walk, then things become available. So like we have dice trays, dice bags. So that was a dice bag that we had done. I got this in 2019 along with my kill banner. So kill banners are available for people that actually attend Titan walks. But what you also get, if you have one of these sort of commissioned, because you obviously pay for these, they also give you banners for your Titans that you're bringing in with your names on. So as you notice, when I had the Warhounds out, you had Tacit Venatrix and Donna Magna had their own kill banners. So based on that artwork, and they've just done smaller ones for all your respective Titans. So I have that, which is cool. Thing is, I don't know if there's any epic scale Titan walks in Nottinghamshire or Derbyshire. Not of the TOC side of things. There has been talks in the past about doing one for smaller Titans, but things changed after we did the Warhammer Fest, because then people going, ooh, because we were doing at the time before Warhammer Fest, we were doing free walks. So we done our main walk. We just started doing greetings for the warp, and we just started doing Beachhead. So Beachhead was like winter, greetings to the warp was spring, and the main walk was autumn. So nothing in the summer. But since then we've done, obviously we do Beachhead, we do greetings for the warp, we do the main Titan walk, we also do salute now. There are talks of doing other events as well, but that's for the big guys. But it would be nice if we did go down the route of doing the smaller dudes as well, and maybe a tournament or something like that would be cool, like Maximal Fire. So that's something we've got to sort out. But when you're doing like salute is quite involved, so there's a lot of moving parts with that as well. And that's the thing with the Titans Owners Club, it's, we only put our name to official Titan Owners Club stuff, and it's all part of being part of the Titans Owners Club. So whether or not they'll change that, I don't have say on that side of things. That's for the real head honchos to decide. And have a say. But Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no. Let's go. Hmm. I've taken a break from painting small boats to paint Lionel Johnson. This was a terrible idea. Yeah, there's regrets is a common thing, my friend. Uh, I see dice and a War Master. What's cracking? Well, the War Master is just getting final prep for Salute. Well, final attentions of going to Salute. There's just so much on the kit. I was just sorting out my dice for the Titan Walk. So I've got my Flames of War, Desert Rats. So there you go. Little dice. So reactors, locations, scatters, the D10s and what have you. There. So I have a spare bag of dice, which I've also got lots of dice. So I've got my dice for. I've got 2 packs of these dice. These are the original ones when they first came out, and with the re-release, unopened, but they are a different colour. So the red's fairly the same, but the gold is more gold. Whereas that's more Retributor gold, and that is more Liberator gold. So Yeah, there's lots of happening. Got my laser pointer to see if that's still batteried up. So as you can see, it still works. Rule book, hot sheets, dice tray, tape measure, dice. That needs to be charged. I wonder what that's for. Saying that, the other one was around here somewhere. I didn't buy the new dice when they came out. Had I known, I would have bought more packs. Yeah. Oh, damn it. I thought that was the other one there. Ooh, that's a pen. That's a pen as well. That's decals. More dice. Pair of scissors. No. Streaking grime. That's not what I'm after. Oh, I'll look for that later. So that but £100 on dice would have been excessive. True, yes. Whoa. Into the dice bag we go. Are you working on the Badger? Oh, yeah, like I've still got a few. I normally, like, obviously when I bought a lot of starter packs, I do tend to sort of give stuff away. Yeah, I've just got my drop fleet. I've got UCM fleet when they sort of first originally come out, because I noticed that there are resin ships now for it, but like there's resin ships of copies of plastic ones that you used to have. Well, are you going to salute this weekend, Badge?
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Alright, so when you're there, come find me. I'll see if I can find some dice for you. So, hold on a second. Ba, 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 ba. What in the ever-living hell was that? That was Iracundus. So basically that's what's normally inside Iracundus when I'm doing Titan walks. And every now and again I'll go. So it comes out slightly louder because it's like turn it off. I need that charged up anyway. I'm trying to highlight it. Sorry, Bertie. Sorry. Giving up painting for the night. Gone cross-eyed. Enjoy the rest of your evening, mate. Chat. Thank you very much for hanging out, you lovely little sausage. I'll catch up with you again later, no doubt. Yeah, so basically that war horn is what people were greeted to in 2017, I think. Was it 2017? No, 2015. Sorry, 2015. It was the 8th of February, and it was at the Horus Heresy Weekender up in Nottingham. And on the Sunday, I was with my friend Scott. Originally, what the plan was, I'd been sort of in an arms race with a guy called Paul Rudge, who's one of the Forge World guys. He basically like the head of the department that does all the graphic design stuff and decals, stuff like that. Back then, I don't know if he does it now, but back then that's what he was doing. But he had a few nights of House Morbidia, I think it was. No, it might not have been Morbidia. What's the other one? There was another house, but begins with an M. But so I was in like an arms race. So like he was building knights, I was building knights. So I had about 6 at the time. He had about 7, I think. But my mate Scott had a couple, and I'd said like, "Oh, we'll bring our knights with us to the weekender, and we'll meet up and go to like the gaming room, acquire a table, and then we'll put them all out in like a little diorama type thing and take pictures." So he agreed. Unfortunately, he didn't tell me he wasn't working on a Sunday, so we didn't do it on the Saturday because there's a lot of seminars we wanted to do and stuff like that. And then when I was looking for him on a Sunday, I couldn't find him. In the meantime, on the Saturday, he was in a seminar, and I asked a question about because it just recently brought out House Terran molded shoulder pads for Imperial Knights. So I asked a question to Alan, will you be bringing out House Tyrannus, sort of thing, seeing as like they're the poster boys sort of thing. I know you've got your own poster boys with House Terran, but you know, what about the other dudes, you know? And you got the usual, well, you might look into it in the future, depends on blah blah blah. So I asked that question, and on the way out after the seminar finished, some guy caught my attention. Said, "Oh, you the guy who asked about the House Tyrannus?" I went, yeah. I said, yeah, I've got House Tyrannus Knights. He said, oh, I've got House Tyrannus as well. I went, oh, that's cool. And I explained the situation, why I'd brought the Knights down and all that. And he said, oh, can I join in as well? Like, it'd be really cool. I said, yeah, no worries, sort of thing. More the merrier. So it comes around to the Sunday, find out that Paul's not there, but Andy Hoare was there, and he said, well, we'll just bring stuff down, and I'll find a table for you. So he acquired a table, which was a Forge World 40k tiles, the Realm of Battle tiles they did, so like the industrial sector. So it was a table of them, all painted up and white. So we put out 13 knights in total, and my Reaver Titan Iracundus. And nobody knew that Iracundus had a speaker inside it. So people come along and looking at Iracundus, because my friend Chris, who painted it for me, done a wonderful job of it. And there was people looking like, oh, that's really cool, having a good old look. And as they're getting close, I'm activating the speaker via my phone. So I'm not standing there, but they're looking at it, and then suddenly that noise comes out of the Reaver, and people are like, oh, did that just come out of that? And you go, yep. And it's just like kid in the candy store. Everyone's just like really excited. And so on that Sunday, we actually became like an unofficial attraction, because we had loads of people coming in, because obviously the first few people go run out, have you seen the Knights and the Reaver Titan that makes noises and all that sort of thing? What do you mean? What do you mean? And they've all coming in. We had authors coming in, like Graham McNeil came over, because he was I wanted to meet up with him anyway. But he came over, signed my one of my books that I had with me, and we was talking about Tyrannus Knights and stuff, and because obviously he wrote about House Tyrannus in Mechanicum. We had Alan Bly was down there, Tony Cottrell, who's the head of Forge World, other notable Forge World employees, all coming along and checking out the setup that we had going on there. And basically, like, it helped that, people were just really like nice and like looking, because you don't often, at those days, you never used to see Titans that often. So like in the wild. So they were all down there checking them out and all that sort of stuff. I'm playing the sound system every now and again just to like freak people out. But that Sunday morning, we were like an unofficial attraction. Honestly, there were so many people coming into that gaming room just to look at the 13 Knights of Tyrannus, the Ignatum Reaver Titan. Plus, I had my burgeoning Mechanicum force there as well. So like a couple of Castellax, not the Fanators. Fanators weren't out there, were they? Was they? They may have been, or may not been Fanators, but there was definitely Castellax. There was definitely Phalanx there, and like my kit bashed Archmagos dudes and stuff. There was a Krios Venator, because that was sort of fairly recent release then, so that was there. But yeah, so it was a nice little sort of showpiece, and people, and like Tony Cottrell was taking photographs and stuff, and I got told the following week, I got messaged by Andy Hoare, said, oh, guess whose photographs of their models appears in the internal Forge World newsletter. And it was some of the pictures that Tony had taken, saying like, this is what we want to see, people doing these little things to show off and all that. Because obviously he done a lot of that stuff with Adeptus Titanicus when he just little set piece stuff, because it adds to the imagination. So that was really, really cool. But that was also the 8th of the 2nd, 2015, was the foundation day of the Tyrannus Owners Club, because the third person who was there was Benjamin Greaves, and I was already thinking about doing a little Facebook page for House Tyrannus Knights and all that sort of stuff. So between him, my friend Scott Charnick, and Benjamin Greaves, we created, we were the founding fathers of the Tyrannus Owners Club, and they were the first TOC. I didn't found the Titans Owners Club, they came out in about June. It was June or July. It was a summer birth for them, but we were out in the end of winter in February. Is when we created. So we were the first TOC. So if there was any sort of war about who had rights to TOC, it would be the Tyrannus Owners Club, because we were the first Owners Club around. Just putting it out there because it's true. But yeah, so that became a thing. We've loads of members. Admittedly, we haven't done a lot in COVID times, where we used to have our little Tyrannus night musters up at Warhammer World. Obviously, the last one we done, we had 305 Knights of House Tyrannus turn up, including Armigers, of course, but there was obviously 305 Knights of House Tyrannus in one place. So it's a sort of official, unofficial record. It's the most Knights of one household to be at Warhammer World. The previous attempt we did, I've actually got a certificate up there, which was when we turned up and there was 100 Knights. We wanted to get, I think, 110 or 115. It was something like that. It was, but because one of the guys, their trains got cancelled, so he couldn't get down, and he had 10 Knights, and I think the total was about 113 we had to beat. So we physically had 100 there, plus one of James Karch, who's one of the guys who works for Games Workshop. He had 10 Knights in one of the showcases, and basically we had permission to buy from James because he couldn't make it, but he said my Knights are there, so if you want to use them, feel free. But Baz, because the other person weren't turning up, we didn't have enough House Tyrannus. We would need 4 more Knights, and then he would have got the other 10 out because we would have beaten the record. And he just said, like, well, there's no point getting it out because we can't beat the record, which was again an unofficial record set by, I think, GW Manchester, because it was Manchester and I think it might have been Glasgow. It was definitely a Scottish one. They'd had a whole swathe of Knights turn up to the store, but they're all different Knight households. So we had the most from one household at Warhammer World, which was 100 at that time, which is now 305 as of 2019. That was August 2019. We went down there en masse, and we had like a couple of guys who drove over from Belgium, left like early hours of the morning, drove down to Eurotunnel, came across in their car, and then up to Nottingham. So that would have been like at least 7 to 8 hours travel time to get there from Belgium. And they turned up with their Knights, and everyone had we'd done like a t-shirt production, so everyone had House Tyrannus Owners Club t-shirts, and there was a photograph of us all out in front of all these Titans. And then we done a joust. I created up some really simple rules, like for night jousting. So it was like the best out of 3 contested dice rolls, basically. And we just kept it simple. So like, it doesn't matter who. There was no advantages for turning up, like using a lancer versus something. It was just literally just a roll off to see who was going to be and who would become the champion. The champion of the house, and it went to a 3-way battle at the end, and me and Scott got to the end, and there was another guy, I can't remember his bloody first, Pete, he was there. We got to the end, and we had our three-way dice rolled off, and Scott won. So Scott is still the house champion after 6 years. But yeah, that was a good day. It was just literally just to meet up. Tommy Sully, sorry, or Sewell, the he's part of it, and he was there that day with his knights, and he really nicely painted knights, obviously, because he's a really good painter. Hung out with us for a little while as we went around the museum and stuff. But no, it was a good get together, and it was great to see how everybody had addressed their interpretation of the scheme, because there's ones with the white pad, because there's white pads and silver pads. There's a big internal war going on between House Tyrannus over who has white pads and silver pads. Even though in heraldry white represents silver, people can't accept it. So yeah, that was what we used to get up to. Obviously, we should really think about, because it was our 10th anniversary this year of the foundation of the Tyrannus Owners Club. We really should get around to actually doing that muster again. It's the whole point of having knights in the first place. Right. Well, I thought they were stuck on, but they're not. It's really bugging me where the hell that box of stuff went to. bloody annoying. I can't find the bloody thing I'm looking for. Haha! Success! Right, I'm off for some ungodly reason. I have to go to Glasgow. God bless you. Have a good night, folks. Yeah, no worries, mate. I hope you have a safe journey. But, yes. Yeah, to be honest, I'm probably going to shoot off now anyway, because I've got early start tomorrow as well. And all this talking has made me tired. But, yeah, should be on Saturday night after Salute. Probably be a little bit later than normal. But yeah, so I'll be on probably near 9 o'clock, if anything. But yes, thanks again for coming to hang out for a little while and have a chat. And I will catch up with you later in the week. So I hope the rest of your week improves. You know, hump day's practically done. And yeah, have a good one wherever you're doing. For those that are going to be at Salute, I'll see you there. Those that are not, I won't be. So have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you rest of the week, sorry, and we'll see you on the weekend. So peace out, people. Take care. Bye.